Welcome back to our summer series on the history behind the hymns. Today, we're looking at a hymn from the year 1855, and this is a Canadian story. So as a Canadian, I love this story. In fact, it was written in a town just a short drive from my home. Welcome to Church History. I'm your host, Laura Lee Siemens. This is our summer season. I'm telling the stories of our great hymns. This podcast tells the story of the church in chronological order. We started with the story of Jesus, and we have traveled through history into the 1800s. For this summer, we're going to tell the story of the church in chronological order through our great hymns. So, enjoy this summer season. Today we're going to replay a past episode. We're going to hear the story behind What a Friend We Have in Jesus. As I learned the stories of these songs, I was reminded that God never changes. And the people who lived long ago leaned on Jesus for strength when life was falling apart. And we can do the same thing today. Joseph was anticipating his wedding. His wedding was just a day away, and his bride-to-be was coming to see him for one last visit before she became his wife. He would meet her along the way. He walked along the river on this beautiful day in Dublin, Ireland. But as he walked, he suddenly saw his bride's horse, alone with no rider. He grabbed the horse's bridle and then walked quickly in the direction of a commotion he could hear. That is when Joseph watched as a group of men pulled his bride from the river. The horse had been spooked, and she had fallen off the horse and landed in the river. Her head hit a rock, and she had drowned. Joseph was heartbroken, and in his grief, he decided to move away. It wasn't enough to just leave Dublin. Joseph didn't want to stay in Ireland either. He decided to move as far away as possible, and ended up in a small town called Port Hope in Ontario, Canada. It was 1845, and Joseph, at the age of 25, was living in this new town and trying to find a new reason to live. He began to help anyone he could find who needed help. He chopped wood, carried groceries, fixed buggies, and spent his time studying the Bible and praying. And over the years, he began to heal. Then a family in the town was looking for a tutor for their children. Joseph had graduated from Trinity College, so he offered to tutor the children. The family introduced Joseph to their niece, and the two fell in love. Joseph asked her to marry him, and she agreed. His life here in Port Hope was bringing him healing, and his time with Jesus had changed him. Then, just a week before his wedding, his new bride-to-be fell sick. Joseph sat at her bed day and night and did everything he could for her. Sadly, just a day before their wedding was to take place, she died. Joseph sent a letter to his mother, telling her about the death of his second fiancée and how his heart was broken. But his mother did not need to worry about him. He had the greatest friend of all, and he was not alone. He wrote a poem and added it to the letter. Some of the lines went like this: "What a friend we have in Jesus, all of our sins and griefs to bear. What a privilege to carry everything to him in prayer." This time, Joseph didn't feel the need to leave town or the country. He continued to serve anyone who needed help. One day in church, the pastor handed out new hymnals. What a shock Joseph had when one of the songs was the poem he had written to his mother. However, there is a different name under the author. His mother had sent the poem into the hymnal to be printed. However, the printer had accidentally put the name of a well-known author on the poem. The man printed as the author sent a letter to the hymnal telling them he was not the author, so it became a mystery. Who was the writer of this song? And quickly, the song became one of the most popular songs, not just in Port Hope, but across Canada, the United States, and the entire Kingdom of Britain. One day, Joseph was helping a man, and the man was in bitter sorrow after losing his wife. Joseph told the man his story and told him his secret. that he was the author of the song, "What a Friend We Have in Jesus." The man wrote the hymnal and told Joseph's story. By the time Joseph died, October 10th, 1886, his story had spread and his song was being sung all over the world. What a friend we have in Jesus.